So it's late as hell right now. I'm making a video. That's why it's dark as hell. Hope the lighting's good. But bro, I'm gonna tell you a story, okay? So it's 2017. I was, I think, 17 years old at the time, and this is when I just started getting into partying, right? Started getting into that like clubbing lifestyle. And I'm in a nightclub. It's late at night. I'm in a nightclub. Basically, I'm in a nightclub. All the kids in my class are there because, you know, we're all clubbing together as, you know, guys in high school, whatever. People in high school. So there's people in my class at this nightclub. But I'm on a mission. I have one goal. There's this girl that I've had a crush on for at least the past like year, 6 months, year and a half, I think. I've had a crush on her for a year and a half. And my mission at this nightclub is to get with her, or, you know, have something happen between us. Because she's at this party as well. And I've been like trying to get close to her, trying to make something happen between us, but nothing has happened. You know, I've been like texting her as much as possible, like, yo, have you done the homework tonight? You know, I would try to talk to her in class. We had like a 200-day Snapchat streak or something. You know, I had such a big crush on this girl that I would literally sleep at night. I'd fall asleep, hugging my pillow, imagining it's her. She took up so much of my mind. I had such a big crush on her. And I was like, I thought today was the night. Tonight was the night that something was going to happen between us. Because we've been talking for a year and a half. You know, maybe she friend-zoned me, but she never directly said that she wasn't interested in me. And, you know, it's a nightclub, so alcohol is going to be flowing. It's going to be dark as shit. It's going to be this, like, primal environment. Surely this is going to be the time where something's going to happen, right? I've been looking forward to this day for, like, a week, 2 weeks. Right, so I'm at this nightclub and I've got one mission to get her, right? And I see her. She's sitting over there by the bar. So I'm gonna go talk to her and, you know, hopefully, you know, something will happen. We'll see. I'll have some drinks first though. But then this guy walks over and sits next to her. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait for their conversation to be done and then I'll go talk to her. But this guy that goes and sits down next to her, I know this guy. I know this motherfucker because he's in my class and I hate him. I hate this guy. Like, I don't hate many guys, right? Back then, even now, I don't hate many guys. It takes a lot for me to hate someone. Back then, I hated some people because of who they were, the stuff they did, right? So this guy, I hated him because he was a dickhead, basically, right? He was like one of those guys who was just so loud, such a dickhead in class that I just hated him because of that. Like, looking back, I was probably jealous of him, jealous of how like confident he was, also jealous of his success. Because here's the thing, he easily got girls, even though he was a dickhead. He got a lot of attention from girls, but me, I never got any attention from girls. I was a virgin, you know, I was friend-zoned by all girls. So I guess I was like jealous of him, right? Like for example, in chemistry class, like a week earlier, I was there in chemistry class as the fucking nerd who was like trying to actually pay attention in class. Like I wanted to learn the chemistry, you know, so I was like, the teacher was asking questions, I was raising my hand and, you know, trying to learn. But this guy was like, he was basically the class clown. He was like making fun of the teacher. He was making jokes. He was trying to waste everyone's time. And, you know, I didn't say anything, of course. I was a pussy. I didn't say anything. I didn't speak out loud and say like, hey bro, can you please be quiet? I'm trying to pay attention in class right now. I didn't say anything. I didn't speak anything, obviously. But another reason I didn't say anything is because the entire class was on his side. He was teasing the teacher, wasting time in class, and everyone was laughing with him, enjoying it. Because of course no one wanted to be in class, right? So this guy was a dickhead. He also would bully me a little bit. He would tease me, make fun of me outside of class. He was just loud. He was just like, you know, he would be vaping in class. He would be doing all these like degenerate things. He would drink all the time, smoke. He was just like a guy I hated, I guess, for no reason, basically. But even though he was this kind of person, he would get girls. And so I guess I was jealous of him. But here's the thing. He's in this nightclub and he's talking to the girl that I have a crush on. And bro, within a couple minutes, they're making out intensely. They never even talked in class. They barely interacted in school as far as I could remember. But within a couple minutes of them meeting each other and talking, they're making out. And for the past year and a half, I had been trying to do that with this girl, spending so much energy, so much attention, so much, you know, of my time and my energy, and it never led anywhere. Tonight was the chance, but after seeing this, I gave up. I lost all hope. And I realized like, some guys are just like I thought I was the perfect person to get her. Like I was hardworking. I was always like pay attention in class in front of her. I was answering the teacher's questions. You know, I was the smart guy. I was ambitious. I had goals. I had places I wanted to be in my life. You know, I was watching educational content at home. This guy was doing none of that. He was like vaping. He was like, you know, everyone hated him. Well, not everyone hated him. You know, he was a dickhead and stuff. Yet here he was getting this girl that I liked. So I guess what I'm trying to explain in this video, bro, is that when you're young, 13, 18, even in your low 20s, it's going to seem like some guys are just naturally lucky. Some guys just naturally get the success that you want. They naturally get respect from a bunch of guys. They naturally get attraction from women. They naturally get all this success that you want. Even though you're working so hard, you know, you've got goals, you're ambitious, you're trying to do all these things, and it seems like these guys are doing none of that stuff. They're doing all the bad habits. They drink all the time. They smoke all the time. They're not good people. They don't do anything good, but they seem to be getting the success that you want. And this is the tough thing about high school when you're young. Basically, you know, some guys are just naturally lucky. Like for example, some guys are just naturally born jacked. Some guys are naturally, like, they come out of the womb and they have like a V-taper. They're just naturally born jacked. Like, there's something I heard a couple of weeks ago that was pretty funny. It was like, you know, I can't wait to lift for 3 years so I can finally achieve the physique of a black guy who doesn't even lift. Like, the point is, some guys are just naturally lucky. They're just naturally jacked. And so they'll naturally achieve a lot more success than guys who are naturally skinny. Like me, I'm naturally skinny, right? So I have to work really, really hard to achieve the physique of this guy who's just naturally jacked. So some guys are just lucky. And also when it comes to like confidence and talking to girls, for example, some guys are just naturally able to do it, while other guys seriously struggle. Like, bro, like you probably, and a bunch of guys, they have to work to be able to talk to women, right? They have to practice it like it's a skill, right? Like they have to go out there and practice flirting, practice talking to women, and actually develop their confidence, their ability to do it, while other guys can just naturally do it. Because, for example, let me tell you why. For example, like, let's say you're 10 years old, you're starting to build an attraction to women, and you talk to a girl, and she actually responds well, and she's attracted to you. Suddenly you get a bit of confidence. And then the next time you talk to a girl, you bring that extra confidence and she reacts well and you get more confidence. And then you talk to another girl and she reacts well and you get more confidence. And it's like a positive feedback loop. 10 years of this, suddenly you can naturally talk to girls very easily. Compare that to the kid who, you know, he first tries to talk to a girl when he's 10 and he gets brutally rejected, brutally embarrassed in front of all his friends. And he vows to never talk to a girl again. 10 years later, he doesn't even know how to talk to a girl. So two completely different people based off like some events in the past. So basically based off your environment and your genetics, you're going to be drawn different cards when you're young, right? So it's going to seem like some guys are naturally lucky, other guys are naturally unlucky. And no matter what work you do, you know, you could be going to the gym for a year and you still won't achieve the physique of the guy who's naturally jacked. So the point in this video I want to make is that it can seem unfair now, but what you need to think is you need to think long term. You need to think on decade-long scales. Because when you reach your late 20s, this is what I'm realizing now. I'm in my mid-20s, I'm 25. When you reach your late to mid-20s, or even your 30s, you reach this thing called the Great Divide. I'm just gonna call it the Great Divide to make it dramatic. But basically, people will reach two different paths. Basically, one group of people, their lives will get worse and worse and worse and worse. Their health will go down. Their finances will go down. They'll go to a job they hate. They'll hang out with friends they hate. Their life will get worse and worse and worse. While the other group of people are the guys who are improving themselves, like you, if you're watching this video. They're improving themselves. They're, you know, working on their health, working on their fitness, working on their people skills, working on their finances. And their life is going to get better and better and better. So you've got these two groups of people. And basically when you reach your like mid to late 20s, you're gonna see this divide happening between people, especially in Gen Z, when we have all this technology. Technology can distract you and it can make you, you know, get into vaping, get into porn, get into all these bad habits that are gonna bring you down. But it can also lift you up. Technology can help you in so many ways. So especially now with Gen Z, we're gonna see this massive divide between people. And you'll see it when you reach your late to mid 20s. You'll see the kids that you used to go into high school who used to be so confident, so happy, like the guys I was talking to about in my video. You're gonna see them fall down. You're gonna see them have horrible lives. Here's why. Okay, so let's say you're in high school, you're naturally jacked. You naturally have success. The problem with that is you have no incentive, no drive to actually improve yourself. So imagine you are naturally jacked. Do you think you're gonna have the motivation to go to the gym? No, because you take it for granted. Same thing with if you're naturally rich. If you're naturally rich, if you were born to a rich family, you're not gonna have the drive to work hard and make money. So whenever you talk to the super jacked guys in the gym, they always tell you the same thing. They always say like, oh, I used to be skinny, or I used to be fat. Or rich guys, they used to be poor. So it's actually the guys who are at the bottom. It's the unconfident motherfuckers. It's the skinny or fat motherfuckers. Those are the guys who actually end up going to the top because they're so determined to get out of their position, to get out of the hole, that they build amazing habits. They build amazing routines, which push them up and up and up. While the guys who had everything naturally when they were young, they don't develop these good habits. In fact, they take it for granted and they do all the bad habits. They party all the time. They eat bad, they vape, they smoke or whatever. And they actually go downhill. It doesn't seem like it when you're in high school, when you're in your teens, because it won't affect them. But it starts to affect them when you reach your mid-20s or late 20s. So here's the thing, those guys that you're jealous of in class, those guys who naturally have everything, they're not gonna build those amazing habits, and they're actually gonna fall downhill in a decade-long scale in 10 years' time. So that's the thing, be patient, wait, put in the work, and you're gonna see the results in the long term on a decade-long scale. This is the dark thing about life, basically. So this is based off my observations, based on what I've seen, based on what I've learned from talking to people. If you follow your guys in high school, if you follow the guys in high school on Instagram, for example, you'll see their decline in the long run, and it's pretty sad. Like, there's this concept I want to tell you about called the compound effect. What a compound effect is, it's like this. At the beginning, results are really, really slow. But as time goes on, the results explode. And this happens in everything. It happens in businesses. It happens in success with women, success with talking to people, success in everything. Success compounds. At first it's really slow, but then it explodes. So you need to believe in the compound effect. Right now it's going to seem like your progress, your work is not going anywhere. And it kind of isn't, right? Like, if you've only been going to the gym for a year, if you've only been working on your finances for a year, it's not really going to get you anywhere. If you've only been studying hard for a year, you're not going to make much progress. You're not going to make much changes in your life. It's the long term where the changes are going to happen. So you need to look long term. You need to think, okay, where do I want to be in a decade? That's what you need to think. Where do I want to be in 5 years? So don't compare yourself to where you are right now with these guys. Compare what's going to happen in the future. Now, here's the thing. We're not the type of people who say, oh, we're better than these guys, right? We're not better than these guys. These guys, they're not better than us. We're not better than them. We're not better than them because we're doing some good habits which are going to improve our life in the long run. We're all equal. They just don't have the same, they're not as lucky. They don't have the same opportunities that we have. They don't know about how they can improve themselves, but we do. So we should be grateful for this. We should be happy. So don't have this mindset where you're like, oh, I'm superior to these guys. I'm going to beat these guys. I'm going to be better than them in the long run. Don't have this kind of mindset that you're superior to them. Have this kind of mindset where it's like, okay, these guys are lucky now, but no problem. In the long run, I'm going to be the one who's winning. Like, we don't want anyone to lose, right? We wish these guys would come up with us, right? Because we don't want anyone to lose. But it's just a sad reality that these guys are probably not going to achieve much. They're probably going to be stuck where they are, or they're going to be downhill. Like, you always hear people talking in person, online, in movies, whatever. They're like, oh man, they reminisce about high school. They're like, oh, I miss the high school days. That's when I was so popular. That's when I could bench 225, right? Like, they look back to high school because their life went downhill. So we don't want to be like that. We need to think long term. We need to think our life is going to go uphill. See, a compound effect, that's the big thing. Right now, it might seem like you're having zero success. But be patient, and you're going to get so much success that you don't even realize it. That's what I've seen from observing many different people, and even what I'm experiencing in my life. Be patient and think long term. Right now, it might suck. It might seem like things are horrible. But these guys, their peak is now. Your peak is going to be, your late 20s, your early 20s, till you're dead, right? Their peak is going to be right now in high school, maybe to their mid 20s. Your peak is going to be the rest of your life. You're here. You're only going up from here. They're only going down from here. That's how you should see it, right? So hopefully this video gives you some hope, because I remember in high school, I would be like, I would feel so bad because all the other guys around me were getting so much success, even though they weren't even putting in any work. So hopefully this video explains things to you better, gives you some hope for the future. See you later.